Yes, Chef!
With Ryan.
It is Tuesdays, and that does mean Yes Chef with our global chef, our food consultant, our culinary teacher and noisy busybody in the studio today, popping open a bottle there. Ryan, how are you?
I'm great, Peter. How are you doing, man?
What was that you just opened there? It's a very attractive bottle, by the way.
It's a cool bottle, huh?
Yeah.
I brought this bottle from the States. It had a different kind of like honey wine in it. But today, it has eau de juice.
Eau de juice.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Audi. And we're trying to hook up the camera in the studio, but there seems to be an issue with the wire. We'll try and get that working in just a second. But Audi, mulberry fruit.
That's right. That's one of our topics today. We've got 2 seasonal fruits today on the topic.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, and it really is peak season right now. Next week or the week after, you won't find either one of these, probably.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's really short.
The season for them.
Especially for the mulberries. And people around the world may know that because the mulberries you'll find all over the world. I know I've seen them kind of in the Midwest in America. Yeah.
And
temperate climates.
The bokbunja, known as, well, apparently the technical name is Rubus koreanus, or Korean raspberry.
Which tells me that whoever named that, whoever found that it was a unique species, believed that it was native to Korea.
Yeah, so, the Koreananus, right?
Right.
So the reason apparently we're doing this is because in Korea, June is apparently dubbed the month of berries because berry trees begin to bear fruit around May, and the beginning of summer is announced by the sweet smell of berries in June. And that's why we're doing 2 for 1 today: mulberry fruit and also the Korean raspberries. So I'm looking forward to this because I'm quite familiar with the bokbunja, the Korean raspberry drink, the alcoholic beverage that you get in the restaurant.
Oh, you see it everywhere. Yeah, everybody's pretty much got it in a restaurant, and it's, boy, it is sweet. Not my favorite just by itself because it's so sweet. I don't know how. But I guess it's not meant to, you're not meant to drink a lot of it, maybe.
It's like little shots. It's not like a big glass of wine,
little
right?
glasses. So, and I imagine if you mixed it with a little bit of a like a seltzer water, a bubble water, a sparkling water, or a tonic, something like that, it would probably be really, really nice that way. But for my personal opinion, the sweetness is over the top. It's almost like cough syrup. It's so thick.
It's true, yeah. And the traditional way here is to have it in shots, but you do just drink it just without any kind of mixer or anything like that. It's usually a lot more expensive than a bottle of soju. So, like, if you're treating
twice
someone,
as much, maybe,
or if they often say it's good for your health, when you're drinking that. Right?
Not only that, but yes, the stamina thing. Do you know this legend about this? This is
about
really funny.
bokbunja?
Yeah.
No.
It's kind of funny, man.
The Korean raspberry. Please tell us the legend.
Well, it's like folklore or legend, so there's a couple of different versions out there. But one I've heard is that a farmer or a hunter was out and he found these berries, the bokbunja, the Rubus koreanus, or the Korean black raspberry, and he decided to make wine from it. And when he drank the wine, he drank enough to where he passed out. And the next morning, he really had to go to the bathroom bad, and he's using a chamber pot, right?
Okay.
And the power in his morning relief flipped over the pot.
Wow.
You haven't heard this story?
No.
Isn't this is really funny.
Wow.
So, bokbunja means flip pot person.
Really? Okay, cha meaning
Chinese,
a person,
yes,
right?
in Hancha.
And bokbun means flipping the pot.
Flip pot person. So
seriously.
So you had the power in the morning to flip the chamber pot, and that's apparently where. Now this could just be more folklore, such an old story that it's just stuck around and become legend. But you hear it a lot. You hear it's all over the web too. So.
Yeah, well, I've never drunk that much bokbunja to see that happen.
Right? Yeah, maybe we got to test that out.
Yeah, maybe I need to drink more, right? But that is an interesting legend behind it, and the name as well. So bokbunja, do you know? Does that define not only the fruit but the drink as well?
Bokbunja ju.
Oh, that's the official name, bokbunja ju.
But when you're speaking Korean, people leave off the ju because it's one of the, well, I guess 99% of the time you hear about this fruit, it's about that wine.
Yeah.
So they just drop the ju part, which means like a wine or an alcohol.
Yeah, and that's why I said I've only heard about or tasted the wine. I haven't seen the fruit, I don't think, anywhere.
Rarely, but sometimes people will make jam from it.
Oh.
Usually what's made from it is something like this, which is an extract, a syrup.
So this is from bokbunja, is it?
This is bokbunja and sugar, and you just kind of let it sit, and you make an extract or a syrup.
Are there little berries inside there?
They are, and they're full of big seeds, and that's probably why you don't see it used so often in desserts, or like ice cream or something like that, because those seeds have to be removed. I was reading too that the seeds, because so much of this is made into alcohol, the seed is a major byproduct.
Sure.
And here in Korea, they've found that they can use those seeds to remove dyes from wastewater. So it might help solve some of the world's problems.
Yeah, and make use of a waste product that maybe was just thrown away before.
It's kind of cool.
This extract of Korean blackberry smells pretty strong.
Yes.
Like almost alcoholic.
Oh, no, it's not fermented, but it is just naturally the berries are quite tart. So you have to add a bit of sweetener, just like we do with a lot of berries or small fruits that are sour or tart. But by adding the sugar and getting all the juice out of that, this one, we can try it first. You ready, buddy?
We can just drink this?
No, that would be a little too much. But what we can do is take a little bit of water.
I love it. You brought ice, water. It's like we're at a bar.
There you go, buddy.
The Arirang Radio bar. And then just pour some in there.
Yeah, best to, try a little bit. Let's try like a little bit more.
Okay,
there you go. Do that one first.
Show our listeners, because the camera inside the studio is not. Is that enough, you reckon?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
There's no exact science to it. Oh. Now the desk will forever be purple.
It's okay. It dropped on my script. We can give that away as a prize today. Bokbunja infused script. So it's kind of sunk to the bottom. It's very heavy, isn't it, the extract? So have you got a straw over there, Ryan? That we could stir
I do.
with?
I brought.
You've come fully prepared.
Boy, oh boy! Look at that.
I haven't had a cocktail in such a long time. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to pretend there's a little bit of alcohol in here.
That's a nice sound.
It is, isn't it?
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. So this is the Korean blackberry or raspberry extract in some water and ice.
It's like Kool-Aid.
I love it.
It's nice.
It's amazing. So this does it have added sugar in there?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay. That's why it tastes so good.
Without the sugar, it's pretty tart. It's pretty tart. And these aren't even, they're not really cheap too. Yesterday in the market, I found it's a pretty big box, but it's $50.
$50 for a box of berries. So you said it's very seasonal and the season is very short. So I'm assuming that's why it's so expensive. This tastes almost like grape.
It does a little bit, doesn't it?
It's amazing, and it looks like grape as well. So I've never had a non-alcoholic version, but I'm assuming this is not too unhealthy, bar the sugar that you've added.
It tastes really healthy, right?
Yeah, that's so good.
There's all kind of literature too about bokbunja being so good for you. It's good for kidneys, liver. Again, the stamina thing comes up. For skin tone, there's a lot of things that have been research that's been done in the last 10 years or so. Yeah,
so a good ingredient. You don't happen to have actual bokbunja apart from what's in here, right?
Those are the ones. They're little. They look kind of like they're the shape and size of raspberries, but really black.
Really? Okay, so we've posted up a couple of photos. So would they be kind of like the ones on the bottom?
The ones on the bottom of the two photos, there are the
ones.
bokbunja, and the ones on the top are the odi.
Oh, the odi, the mulberry fruit. So I've never had mulberry fruit.
Never.
I don't think so.
Wow, I really. If you get the ones that are cultivated, like farmed, I think they're pretty good. Yeah. But if you ever find a tree out in the woods, and I mean, this time of year, it's perfect. So if you go hiking this weekend, keep looking up, because you'll find these berries.
What do the trees look like? Just
they have a jagged
feature?
leaf on them, like a tear-shaped leaf, but it has jagged edges. And the berries are green first, then red, and then finally kind of purple or black.
Is that when they're ready?
Mulberries, that's when they're ready. And I'll eat some of the red ones sometimes because the tartness is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But when you find those trees that are next to a stream or out in the woods, wow, they're really sweet and delicious.
Seriously?
It's just nature's, just candy. So
amazing.
I've been known. Let's see. Last summer we found a tree next to a friend's farm, and we just spent half an hour in that tree just cleaning it, just eating them all. Yeah. And making jam from them is awesome. You just incorporate honey or some kind of sweetener, maybe a little other ingredients like mint, or you could do kind of like a black licorice flavor with star anise or something like that.
With the mulberries, then, you say you just eat them off the tree. They don't have such big seeds like the bokbunja?
Right.
So you can just eat the whole thing?
Yeah, I made something else here for you, too.
What are in those pots as well?
That I'm saving, and then you'll really get to see the difference.
All right.
Because those are full of berries baked into something.
Wow. Okay. First, in this bottle.
This is an OD, or a mulberry juice. And I used some honey.
Wow, look at that. So it looks kind of similar in colour. Oh, it's a bit more red than the purple Korean raspberry.
I think you'll really like this one. It's got some mint from the farm in there too.
Mint,
just a hint.
Honey, and the mulberries. And you made like a little extract.
Right.
Okay, let's give this a try. Doesn't really smell. Oh, it smells minty.
That's so nice.
Isn't
that awesome?
Oh, yeah, the mint in there. This would go really well with a British drink that we have at the summer at Wimbledon.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Pims.
Yes.
It'll be perfect. Absolutely perfect. Because in there, you usually put in chopped up cucumbers, strawberries, oranges.
I had my first experience with the Pims just last year and was very pleasantly surprised.
It's really refreshing, isn't it, during the summer? And this has that taste. Obviously, no alcohol in there, but it tastes super healthy as well with that mint. Oh, it's so good.
This would make a really nice cocktail if you wanted to go there, or just as the juice. It's awesome, right?
Absolutely.
Isn't that refreshing?
Yes, so good for summer.
And that has a really that major tone there is the mulberry, that sweetness, that berry, which technically it's not a berry. It's funny, it's a fruit.
Oh, okay.
But so be it. It looks like a berry to me.
It doesn't overpower, though. The flavour is not that intense, the mulberry itself.
Right.
It's a little bit, I guess, weaker than the bokbunja, maybe.
Right, yeah, not as intense.
More subtle.
And you're really going to see that when we take a look at these. So.
All right, we're going to do that after a song break, Ryan.
Okay.
We'll try and sort out the camera in the studio as well, which is playing up at the moment. But that's what we've had so far. Mulberry juice extract and also the Korean raspberry / blackberry. I've got to say, just in terms of flavour, the Korean raspberry does it for me.
Really?
Less complex. There's no mint and honey, but I'm a bit of a kid with my palate.
Oh, you just want grape Kool-Aid.
Yes, absolutely. It's so good. We'll be back after a song break. Let us know what's in your fridge, and if you have had mulberry or do have mulberry in your country, or the Korean raspberry as well. We'll play this one. It's by Baek Ye-rin, Across the Universe, 우주를 건너. We're back for part 2 of Yes Chef, and we're going to test out, see if the camera in the studio is working. Hopefully it is. You can still see us on video radio from a distance and see all these lovely cocktails that we've been drinking in here. The mulberry and the Korean raspberry.
Now, don't lie. My mother's probably watching now. There's no alcohol in this. It's morning.
Exactly. Morning time, no alcohol, we promise. We're on our best behaviour, but it still tastes so, so good. And we got so many messages to read, so let's read out a few of these first. Will in Canada, just being the lovely gentleman he is, says, "Good morning, Chef Ryan. I hope you're having a great day so far, and it keeps on getting better. Take care, Will." Siska was asking, what is the juice / syrup, the Oddy juice, the mulberry? Is that just from the berries themselves? What were the other ingredients? I've never heard of it before. In Indonesia, I'm guessing mulberries would be...
Oh, they need maybe a little bit more temperate climate, I think. Like growing up in Texas, I didn't see them. I think in northern Texas you might find them, but then as you get up towards the northeast, I've seen them out on hiking trails. So maybe a little more temperate climate than down there.
And Lenny, though, was saying she has in her backyard a mulberry tree in Indonesia, and saying they're almost ripe. And she also bought a strawberry plant just 2 days ago, and it started flowering, so she's looking forward to getting some strawberries. With the mulberries, she said, can I make a jam with less sugar or even without sugar? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, now if you just cook them down, if you want to do jam or jelly, if you really want it to be thick, you can use gelatin. And just trial and error, add a little bit and then separate that out, throw it in the fridge and see if it gets to the thickness that you like. I like to put a little bit of honey in because that's all natural. It's great rather than just using sugar. If I'm going to use sugar, I'll use like a palm sugar or something like that.
Does it not influence the flavor of the jam?
Oh,
honey.
Absolutely. I mean, it really depends on how sweet your berries are, or maybe if you like tart jam or tart jellies, then so be it. On this juice here, basically what we did is when you buy mulberries here, they've got this little green stem on them, and you pull those off, throw them in a bowl. I added over some honey, some local 100% Korean honey, and then took a wooden dowel and just mashed them in a bowl. And the honey will help extract the juice, and of course the mashing helps extract the juice.
What about water? Do you need to add any?
Yeah, sure. I added some water here. Also added, the mint from the farm. And some lime juice and lime zest also went in there too.
Oh, in that one with the mulberries.
Right. This was actually part of a cocktail for the pop-up restaurant on Saturday.
Oh, I saw the photos.
And I had a little bit left over, and I wanted to share it with you.
Thank you so much for saving just a little bit. We got a message here from Annie in Singapore saying the bokbunja, the Korean raspberry, blackberry, whatever you want to call it, sounds something really like I would have a taste for. Can we get this, do you think, in Korean supermarkets abroad? I wonder. Not the fruit, I don't think.
No, but the extract, the syrup, yeah, I bet you can.
Yeah.
Probably even vinegars. Here? Yeah, sure.
To get the extract in the supermarket, like a bokbunja, what would they call it? Like an ekis?
I think so. I think you can find it pretty easily. Yeah. And if not, I'll bet you could find the wine.
The alcohol.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's in a little kind of purpley bottle.
Golden top.
Yeah, like a little rounded one. And once you know the shape of it, you'll see it everywhere at restaurants.
Sure.
And I'm sure supermarkets. Soap Doll in Korea says, I really want to drink it. It looks so good. Yum, yum. It is so refreshing for the summer. I don't see this that often in Korean restaurants or Korean cafes, a bokbunja extract juice or a mulberry extract juice. It would be so good.
I think kind of the seasonality of it maybe makes that a little tougher. But no, I know some places are starting to use these in new ways and stuff. So you'll probably see it more. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so if you turn on the video radio now, you can see the close-up camera, which shows our bar-like area here on the table. This is the Korean raspberry.
Bokbunja,
the bokbunja.
Rubus coreanus.
And this one is the mulberry. You can see the colour is slightly darker, and it tastes a bit more mature, the mulberry one, because you've put in the mint there as well.
I've added a few other things in there, but the main note is definitely the mulberry.
And this is the extract, right, from the bokbunja. If you can take a look inside, those little black things that you can see inside are the bokbunja berries. And they've got seeds inside them.
Right. If you've ever had a blackberry, and you notice how much those seeds get stuck in your teeth.
Yeah, the little tiny ones. But you just eat them, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is kind of similar, but maybe more so.
Yeah. So maybe you shouldn't swallow those. Wait, I'm sure you could.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah. Fantastic. Smells so good as well, that extract. We're going to move on, but before that, Roz says it's blackberry season here in the US, in Florida. I have some wild blackberries in the backyard. Gathering them is a challenge due to the dense thorns on the plant. They're technically a weed here because they invade the unmown land, but I like to think that I'm cultivating them. Blackberries are my favourite bramble fruit, and mulberries are quickly becoming a favourite spring snack. Of course, it's so warm here that they're harvested the first batch in February, very early.
Wow.
That is so good. Actually, we've got so many more messages. Why don't we try what's in these things first, and then we'll come back to the messages again.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, this is a hot dessert, and this is something pretty popular in my family.
When you say hot, do you mean temperature-wise or popularity?
Temperature-wise.
Okay.
This is a baked dessert, and see if folks can see this here. These are crumbles.
Oh, crumbles! They're so popular in the UK. Like apple crumble is particularly popular. So
easy.
Oh, they're still warm as well. Are these two different ones?
That's right.
Fantastic. So one is the mulberry and one is the bokbunja.
And I'm not going to tell you which one.
Really?
I bet you can tell me.
Just looking at them, it's very hard. They look very similar. It just looks like the crumble is a bit different. Maybe just the way it was in the oven. So you've put these in traditional like torsots, these stone pots.
Sure, why not? We're in Korea.
Yeah. Does that work for like a baking?
Oh yeah, these are totally oven safe with the lids. It's really convenient too, because crumbles usually you'll cook partially with a cover over it, and then at the end take the cover off, so it's convenient.
Okie dokie. So we'll try it, and then you can tell us how to make it as well. Let me. Oh, they smell
so easy,
so good,
easy to make a crumble.
But they do smell different for sure. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go with this one on this side first. If you're watching the video radio, it's on my right-hand side. And I get a bit of the crumble on the top, which looks really nice and crunchy, and then all the way to the bottom.
It would have been crunchy fresh out of the oven, but it had to come to.
Wow, that looks good though. Seriously, it's still warm. That's delicious, right?
All right, let me show you.
It's a little bit tart, but that's the berries, right? But it's still so good. There's definitely seeds in here, so I'm wondering, is that the bokbunja? I'm wondering. Let me try the other one just to get a comparison. So these crumbles, this is not something that's super common in Korea either. I guess if you go to the fancier restaurants, you might see it, right? Look at that layer of fruit
vanilla
underneath.
ice cream.
Oh, with ice cream, that would have been. Why didn't you bring ice cream, Ryan?
I know.
I'm getting greedy. Let's give this one a try. They look very similar. Oh, but this tastes completely different.
Oh yeah.
So
look at that. It's all jellified.
And hardly any seeds. So I'm almost certain this must be the mulberry, right? Mulberry, and this the Korean raspberry. Yeah, spot on. And so delicious.
Well done, Peter.
Please tell us how to make these. Are they the same, just using the different berries? Is everything else the same?
Absolutely.
Okay. Take it
away. So simple. You take, pretty much any kind of fruit you want to play with. Peaches, apples, any of these berries, blackberries, blueberries.
It wouldn't work with maybe citrus fruits like oranges.
No, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
But a little bit of sugar or something, honey over the top. And then if you just take really, really cold butter and flour and drop it in a food processor, or if you just take a bowl and a fork, don't let that butter melt though. Try not to, try to keep it cold. And just break it up into like little pea-sized kernels on there, and then maybe add in a little bit of sugar to that, and then sprinkle it over the top. Don't pack anything down. Let those little pieces of butter and flour kind of fall in between the fruit down in the bottom too. So.
And are you mushing up the fruit or just leaving it? If it's these berries, just leaving it whole?
You can just leave them whole.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you just put that in the oven for roughly
about an hour, and the last 10-15 minutes take the top off and let the top brown really nicely.
Okay, so for the majority of the time you keep the top on so it doesn't burn the crumble itself. And then this happens. That's how it turns out.
Oh, it's great.
Seriously. That's so easy.
It's so simple. Like I love cobblers too, but that requires using, like a puff pastry dough or something, and that takes a lot of work. Crumbles are just so simple.
So that crumble is literally the cold butter, flour. That's it?
And the fruit and some sugar or honey. Yeah.
And this crumble on top, that is just made from flour and butter and nothing else.
So simple. And
that happens. That's amazing.
I keep the crumble part, the flour and butter, just in the freezer.
Yeah.
And so if ever I need to make a quick crumble for dessert, just pull it out of the freezer, sprinkle it over the fruit, and done.
That is so convenient, isn't it? I must say, I prefer the bokbunja.
Really?
Yeah.
That tartness?
Yeah.
And that single note
Absolutely.
flavor. That's
Mulberry.
rich.
Mulberry is a little more, I would say, for adults, a little more mature. For a
Bint as a
palate.
kid.
Yeah, it is so delicious. The bokbunja. It is tart. You're right. But I don't know. The best thing about it, which is present in both of them, is the texture contrast. Right. That's what a crumble's all about. Right. The fruit on the bottom and the crunchy crumble on the top. It's so delicious. I'm not meant to have another spoon, but I'm going to. And with these drinks as well. It goes so well. And the drinks as well, the great thing about these, they're not too rich, and you could control that as well with the amount of water you put in.
Yeah, I was asking how much of the extract of the bokbunja to put into how much water, and there's no real general rule. It's just whatever you prefer. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe some sparkling water in there, that would make it fantastic as well. Like a little soda. So many messages to get through here. Puput in Indonesia saying, seeing those crumbles is making my tummy grumble. Now I'm fasting due to Ramadan. Oh, I'm sorry, Puput.
Oh, no.
Hoping I can break my fasting this evening with some crumble. That would be a good thing if you could do it. Yeah. And then a couple of messages from Tunisia. Tayan Mohammed says, is it sweet or spicy? Well, absolutely sweet. It's a dessert, right, this crumble.
Sweet and a little bit tart, especially on, I think, the bokbunja one.
Yeah, you're right. There is that tartness to it, almost a bitterness nearly. Lenny says, about the mulberry extract, do you leave the whole fruits and do you make it like a jar of pickles kind of thing?
Yeah, you can. I think it might speed up the process if you go ahead and muddle them a bit. Take a wooden like rolling pin and just kind of mash them in the jar with a little bit of sugar or honey or something.
Yeah.
Speed it up, but you do not have to. A lot of the extracts made here in Korea, it's really a process of just getting the big jar, throwing in the maesil, the green plums or the bokbunja or another fruit, and then pouring sugar over the top and just waiting about 100 days.
100 days.
For maesil, that's the rule. I'm not sure exactly on the bokbunja, but
you would have to wait
faster.
A good amount of time, though. We got a couple of more messages to read out. Ingyin from Malaysia says, I was using the raspberry mask from Korea and a mulberry mask a few days ago. The mask packs for your face.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really cool. So in the packs, they have raspberry ones and mulberry ones, and that's such a coincidence. I wonder how they make your skin feel as well.
Do they turn your face purple?
I hope not. I don't think that would be a good look, right? And then we've got one from Roz here who says, from the US, I used to live in a city called Mulberry, and it was named Mulberry because a couple of 100 years ago, the mail drop along the rail system was identified as the stop at the big mulberry tree. And what is funny, I lived there a long time and saw many mulberry trees, but never saw the fruit until last spring. Now I have some frozen in my freezer, and my neighbor brings some fresh from their bush as well. So with many berries in Korea, you'll often find them frozen. In the supermarkets, like blueberries especially, because fresh, they're quite expensive here.
Right. Yeah.
Is it okay if you find these on the trees to just chuck them in the freezer to use another time?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just a quick rinse and then in a freezer bag. That'll keep for you, especially if you're going to make something like a crumble or a pie with them.
Yeah, or a juice like this. Oh, so good. So these are really healthy. In season now, maybe for a week or two more, and that's it.
Yeah, the Odie season is so short. It's like you really got to take advantage of it when you see them. And the bokbunja, I see even more rarely do I see it in the markets. Yesterday, I could only find one big case. And like I said, it was about $50.
Wow, yeah. So you can see it in many other guises. It's much more common. So we've been talking about the odi, the mulberry fruit, and the bokbunja, the rubus koreanus fruit, or Korean raspberry, with Chef Ryan today. If you're in Korea, then for the next week or two, maybe try and find these on some trees in some places that you visit. And tune in every Tuesday for Yes Chef, and every day for #DailyK, keeping you up to date with the latest news from Korea every single day from 9 to 11 a.m. And you can watch this on the video segment of Arirang Radio's YouTube channel. Search us out there.